back to another video. Today's video is in the theme of Jurassic Park. As someone who watches a lot of movies, recently I've been to the movie Jurassic Park Rebirth. And I thought it would be a fun idea to do a movie review of that movie. So, I've never done a movie review before. So this will be my first one. So that's just a little disclaimer before we begin. This might not be the perfect movie review, but it will just be my take on doing a movie review. I just tell you what I thought about the movie, what I liked, what I didn't like, things like that. So if you're interested in that, you're at the right place. Also, during this video, I will be eating dinosaur gummies. These are sour gummies, and I'm a person that likes sour candy, but the sourness sometimes gets to me. So if I might start cringing all of a sudden, that's the reason why. Also, I'm wearing my Jurassic Park shirt. You probably can't see that, but I'm not standing up because this entire table will collapse if I do. So I apologize for that. Okay. Before I begin with the review, you might have figured out that I'm a really big Jurassic Park fan. I love the first movie, and the second and third movie are all really great. I'm not the biggest fan of the Jurassic World franchise. But the dinosaur scenes are always cool. So when I figured out that there would be another one of the Jurassic World franchise, I was really excited. And when we went to the movie, I thought it was fun, but it wasn't like old school Jurassic Park level fun. I had a little bit like, sometimes I had with certain sections in the movie that I didn't really like what the characters like were doing, or the choices that were made in like continuity. But besides that, it was really fun movie, just a fun watch. If you like Jurassic Park or dinosaur movies in general, I would recommend. It's a really fun watch. Okay, so this will be a review with spoilers. So if you're still looking forward to seeing the movie, I would recommend first going and watching it, and then return to the video, or else you're gonna get spoiled, because I will be talking about the movie from beginning to end. So just make sure that you've watched it, or else I'm gonna spoil you. Without further ado, I'm gonna open this bag and we'll get started. I'm sorry if this is loud. Okay, I've got a couple out. I'm really sorry if that was really loud. Okay, I have here a tiny little purple Triceratops. Look how cute he is. He's so tiny. I believe this is raspberry flavored. Oh, they're really sour. Okay, I'm gonna get started. So, the last Jurassic World movie was Jurassic World, I believe, Dominion. This movie takes place 5 years after Dominion, and we follow, as soon as the movie begins, we learn about dinosaurs that released over the entire world. And in those 5 years since the last movie and now, all of the dinosaurs have like died or pretty much died out because they were so used to living in warm climates. They could not handle like Canada or really cold places, so only dinosaurs around the equator still live, and they just stay over there a little bit. But it is told that the population doesn't really care about dinosaurs anymore. Since the original Jurassic Park, people are like, oh, okay, dinosaurs are back, whatever. Which I don't really get, to be perfectly honest. Like, dinosaurs are back, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's great. And then 5 years, you're like, yeah, I don't care about dinosaurs anymore. But anyways, we meet with this man called Martin, and he's driving around in New York until he gets into like a big line of cars, because everybody has to stop because there's a dinosaur blocking the road. And he gets out of his car. And he gets out of his car and starts looking around until he meets up with this lady called Zora Bennett. And Zora is a client he's meeting because he wants to go to an island that was a research facility for the original Jurassic Park. And he wants Zora's help to get there because she is like, she's a professional. She is like someone you can hire. I'm forgetting what exactly her job is, but she's like someone you can hire for special things like reconnaissance, or she's good with a gun, that sort of thing. And this island is like a place where they designed and mutated dinosaurs for the original Jurassic Park. I also forgot to say that at the beginning of the movie you see this research facility, and there is like a contingency that all the doors are starting to go unlocked because there's a Snickers wrapper going into the ventilation system that disables all the security on all the doors so the dinosaurs can get out. Which is like a little nitpicky thing, that like a Snickers wrapper can just open all the doors because then the contingency is like broken. And you can see a little bit of the new T-Rex, which is highly featured into this in this movie. So like all the scientists are running rampant, and it's like one big, like, it's chaos. Ian Malcolm reference. So this Martin wants to go to this island because he needs the blood from 3 of the biggest dinosaurs that are still on that island, because he and his company want to make like new they want to have research made with those samples so they can stop heart disease for like 1/3 of the population or something. And Zora is like, she wants to help, but she's not certain about it. So then they go to a dinosaur museum where they meet up with another character. His name is Henry. Henry is someone who learned under Alan Grant from the first movie, and they want him on the trip because he's a dinosaur expert. I've got a little pterodactyl, or like, I'm not very good with dinosaur names, to be perfectly honest. I know like the basic ones like Tyrannosaurus Rex and like a Triceratops, but as soon as it's like something like Hippodiploiditis, I'm not gonna remember that. So, but I know this is like a pterodactyl. This is lemon flavored. Or the lemon one is really sour as well. Okay, so they have recruited Henry. Henry is coming along. Great job, Henry. because the island is in front of the coast of Costa Rica, like the first two islands. And they meet up with someone called Kincaid. He is a friend of Zora's who helps her out with missions, and he has a boat. And they're gonna take that boat to the island. Now, as soon as they get there, they start talking about the money they're getting paid. And Kincaid wants more money because it's a dangerous place where they're going. Martin is like, no, I'm not gonna pay you more. And then they start like saying, oh, then we're not gonna go, you know, they're blackmailing him a little. And then he admits that, okay, you'll get more money. They also meet another character there, which name I, for the life of me, cannot remember. He's also not that long in the movie. He is primarily there just to get eaten by dinosaurs, but we'll get back to him later. Also, a fun little thing I figured out after the movie is that some people in that bar where they're going, where they meet Kincaid, people are talking Dutch there, which I think is really fun. I'm Dutch myself, so hearing that language in like a Jurassic Park movie was really funny to me. But anyways, they set off with Kincaid's boat towards the island, and Henry has prepared a rifle with like syringes to extract the blood from the dinosaurs. They need from the three biggest dinosaurs that blood. First they go after the Mosasaurus, which a lot of people might know which dinosaur that is. It's the one that swims in the water, it's really big. So while they get going, we cut to the perspective of a family on a sailboat, like a really big sailboat. And they are just on a family trip, basically. And they are not connected to the island or their research or what they are doing. They're just there. But they get a little too close to the island, and then they get attacked by the Mosasaurus. But before the Mosasaurus does anything to that boat, they see these fins going past that boat. And later it is revealed that they are Spinosaurus, but like a hybrid Spinosaurus that can swim. Really fun stuff. That's like the whole thing of this movie, that there are new dinosaurs that have been like modified to do multiple things. It's really fun. So their boat get knocked over, and they're basically like stranded in the middle of the ocean. So they contact the team on the boat with Zora, and they're like, oh my god, we gotta help them. Well, Martin, like the big company guy, he's a little bit reluctant to do so, because he's more like, yeah, we need to go get that dinosaur blood. I want that dinosaur blood, we need that research. He's a little like money hungry. So yeah, he's like, I don't want to help them. But Kincaid and Zora are like, yeah, we're gonna help them. Okay, I have a little teeny tiny T-Rex. I believe this is strawberry raspberry flavored. This one's actually really good. So they help the family, they get them off their boat and onto their boat, and they continue going to the island because Martin doesn't want to bring them back to the mainland, but it's gonna take longer. Then on their way to the island, the mosasaur catches up to them, and they see the same spines going past their boat. And Henry explains that they are helping the mosasaur hunt. So they have a little bit of a chase with the mosasaurus, because Zora is strapped to the front of the boat and she's trying to shoot the mosasaurus with a syringe so they can get its blood. They have a little bit of a struggle, but afterwards she eventually hits it and the blood gets extracted from the mosasaurus, and it like launches itself from the needle up, and it floats with a little tiny parachute back onto the boat, and they catch it. Then they quickly make their way out of there, back to the mainland. But the mosasaur is still chasing them. So they decide to go into shallower water so the mosasaur can catch up with them. But the Spinosaurus keep chasing them. And that one guy in the bar, which I didn't tell you his name because he's like not that important, he pulls out a gun and he starts shooting them away. And then a Spinosaurus like climbs onto the boat and then snatches him and drags him off into the water, and he's literally never seen again. He was there, he had like 2 lines and then he was gone. So I was like, what is the purpose of this character? But anyways, he was there to be eaten, and he got eaten. He did his job. Okay, we have another Triceratops, green one this time. This is a lime, I think. So, during all that chase back to the island, the family jumps off the boat because one of the family members falls off the boat, and Martin went to go and help them, but he decided to not help them instead. So the family jumps off the boat after that girl. And then there are like 2 groups. There are the family that they helped, which are on one part of the island, and then Sora's team, which are going after the dinosaur blood. And they're both gonna try and make their way towards, in the middle of the island, that research facility from the beginning of the movie. Because by dawn, the next day, a helicopter will come and be there for like a couple minutes to make sure that if they're there, they're gonna take them back to the mainland. So if they're not there in time, they'll just be stranded here. So the family takes off, trying to get to that facility by following pipework that's laid out over the entire island. And Zora and her team go to another part of the island to find one of the other dinosaurs. It's a really big one, like with the tall necks, but I don't know exactly what the species is. I have no idea. So these are not dangerous. They just stand and look at them for a while the 2 dinosaurs are like rubbing their heads against each other. It's like a really beautiful scene. And they shoot it with the needle, but they're like so big that they're like, I don't feel anything. And they get the blood from that, and that's the second dinosaur done. So that was really good, really quickly. During this time, the family is making their way towards over the island, and they see like a little house or boathouse, and they go in and find a raft. Next to the house, there's like a half-eaten dinosaur, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so disgusting." During this time, they also find a tiny little Triceratops and they call it Dolores, which Dolores is really cute, but like she has no further value to the story. She's just cute little dinosaur. She's just right there. I'm here being cute. I'm Dolores. So after they get the raft and try to go back over, they notice that there's a T-Rex sleeping in the grass next to that boathouse. So she wants to take the raft with her, so she tries to deploy it, but it's really loud. So the thing like expands over the entire screen, and it covers the entire T-Rex. And as soon as it falls over in the water, the T-Rex is gone. And you're like, what? Where did it go? That's by the way, the stealthiest T-Rex ever. So then they go over to the other side of the lake, or the river, I mean. And you see the T-Rex going into the river to get like a little drink. And then he turns around and he sees them, and they're like, we gotta go. We have to go. There's a T-Rex. We have to go. So they all get into the boat and they go down the river, and the T-Rex is chasing them. And he goes like underwater and emerges in front of them and throws over the boat. And all of the family members go down the river, except one little girl who stays underneath the raft that has been flipped. So they are like, then they come to like where the mountains side like sort of make a little gap where the river flows through, and they pass, and the T-Rex is too big so he can't pass. But they notice like we're missing someone, and they hear the little girl screaming under the raft, and the T-Rex figures it out and tries to grab her and bite into the raft, but he can't like get to them. Then she also passes through that crack, and the T-Rex is like, okay, I lost him, that's too bad, and he just like, he leaves, he goes away. Then the raft re-emerges out of the water, and they take it to the research facility. Meanwhile, Zora and her team are collecting the last dinosaur blood, and it's one of those really big flying ones. I have again no idea what it's called. Another flying dinosaur. So, because it's too hard to get one from a flying dinosaur, they decided to go to its nest and get the DNA or the blood from an egg. Which now they don't need the blood anymore. They could just extract like the fluid from the egg, and it's basically the same thing. But it's not blood because it's like a white substance. I have no idea. So they go climbing down a line, down the cliff, into the mountain where the nest is. And they're almost done with getting the DNA out of it. And then the dinosaur, the mama, comes back, so she flies down and into the cave, and she's like, "What are you doing in my house?" And she starts picking him, and they manage to go back into the cave and find a little entrance, and they go out of it, I believe, and they get out and escape. Then they make their way to the research facility, and it's starting to get a little dark. Then the family decides to take a rest and go to sleep, and one of them decides to stay awake to keep watch. While he does that, he goes a little bit further away and goes to the bathroom there. While he does that, he sees these flying dinosaurs pass by and like pick up another dinosaur, and he's like, I gotta stay still, I can't move. And we see these dinosaurs later again. So then it's late, and they all continue to the research facility, and they all meet up again, where the girl that fell off the boat tells them that like Martin, he tried to kill her by not helping her, and then he emerges with a gun, and he's like, yeah, she's right, I did that, and I want the case with all the blood samples. So they give him the case with all the samples, and he like sort of gets out of there, and then you see those flying dinosaurs that I just mentioned again, and they're like these weird combinations between like a velociraptor and like a flying dinosaur, which they look kind of weird, but not like too weird. But I don't know, I prefer the original raptor design. I like that one a little bit more than these like chicken raptors. That's basically what they look like. If you cross a velociraptor with a chicken, that's what it would look like. So Martin splits up from the group, and the as soon as Kincaid leaves, Martin like sees the T-Rex, which is still in the facility, and it's like really really big dinosaur. It's really huge. So he doesn't see it right away. It's like in the background moving, and he walks outside because he hears that the helicopter has arrived. So he goes outside and yells at it, but they of course don't see him because it's dark. He then pulls out a flare from a railing cabinet he found, and he shoots it, and they see him, and they're like, okay, we'll come back around, we'll pick you guys up. So Henry is like really happy that they saw him, and then in the background, in the fog, you see the T-Rex just pass by, just huge dinosaur. And then he hears it walk, so he turns around and he's trying to look for it. And then in the smoke or in the fog, you see that the light of the helicopter is coming back around. But as soon as it gets out of the fog, you see that the T-Rex has the entire helicopter like in its jaw, and the people are screaming, and he bites down, and the entire helicopter just like breaks apart. So they're stuck again. Then they go back into the facility, and they figure out that there's a boat near the river that's connected the facility to the ocean. And they're like, we gotta get there. But Martin's also going there, so they gotta get there before him. So they go back into the sewers and decide to go all the way down until they get at the exit where they can just go into a straight line towards it. So the little girl from the family squeezes through the bars because the adults are too big, and she needs to pull a lever to open the sewer door. And then the T-Rex emerges again, and it's like the adults are locking it to the cage so he doesn't go after the little girl. And at that exact same time, Martin drives past with his car, and the T-Rex sets his foot before the car, and he drives the car against his foot. So the T-Rex sees him, and he of course eats Martin. Goodbye, Martin. Martin's hand with the briefcase falls down, and Zora, now the door is open, grabs the briefcase and runs off with the rest. The T-Rex is very slow, so they get a little bit of a head start, but it's gonna catch up, so they need to distract it until they get the boat ready. So Kincaid grabs one of Henry's flares, and he distracts it and leads it away from the rest. So they get onto the boat, and they drive off. And Kincaid, you can see that he's getting cornered with the flare in his hand by the T-Rex, and he's like inches away, and then it cuts to them escaping, and the flare goes out, and you think like, well, Kincaid must be dead. So they drive off, but they hear him scream, sort of like, we gotta go back, we gotta save him. And they get back, and he's in the water waving at them like, hey, I'm alright, I didn't die, yes. So they take him and they drive off. And when they get back in the boat and they're driving back to the mainland, Henry asks Zora what they're going to do with the research, and they decide to share it with the world, so it does not get patented, and just everyone has access to their research. So heart disease may be like something that can be prevented for a lot of people, not just by one company, but by everyone. And that's where the movie ends. I think it was like a pretty okay movie. It wasn't too good, to be perfectly honest. I know I'm just not the biggest fan of the direction they take with the Jurassic World movies. example, it is said like, oh, people just don't like or dinosaurs anymore, that kind of stuff, you know. Which I think is like kind of okay. Maybe like I get that people might get tired of it because it's like there's a trend, and the trend is like people like the trend, and then the trend ends. But it's like I think there would never be people that would think like, oh yeah, dinosaurs, who cares? And it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel or give me the same feeling that I get with the original movies, which I know they're just like a little bit more enjoyable. These are still enjoyable, and if you like them, just that's great. I also like these movies, but just not as much as the other one. Of course, have your own opinion. This is just my opinion. But like one of the biggest thing that I disliked about this movie is that the T-Rex is like hyped up so much, also in like the trailer and everything, and it's not even that much in the movie, just like 10 minutes at the end of the movie. And then like Kincaid gets like he gets pinned down by it, and he just survives that. Like he's here and T-Rex is like this close to him, and it's just like, oh yeah, I survived that, by the way. I looked him dead in the eye and I was like, nah man, I'm not doing that. Like that's more of a nitpicky thing. It's not like the biggest deal, but it's just like give him like something or a reason why he survived, and not just be like, oh, but I survived. That's really the only thing that bothered me. But besides that, I did enjoy it. I would rate it like a 2.5 or 3 out of 5 stars. But yeah, that was my review on the Jurassic World Rebirth movie. Another addition to the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise. I hope they make another one. I hope that one will have something to do with like more existing characters, or like that it will be another fun concept. I like the concept with like mutant dinosaurs, but I don't know, it was a little bit like, oh, okay, nice, and not like, whoa, I'm so mind blown by this, that was so cool. But yeah, take this review with a grain of salt. This is just my personal opinion. If you think this was the best dinosaur movie or Jurassic World movie ever, I'm sorry, that is a horse outside of my studio. Don't pay attention to him. He's doing fine. He's really bothering me. Okay, but if you like this movie, that's perfectly fine. I just thought it was okay. But yeah, if anyone has seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it. Comments in the comments down below. If you like the original Jurassic Park, please consider leaving a like. And if you want to consider subscribing, I would highly appreciate it. It's not a must if you don't want to. I will just ask you to consider. With that being said, thank you for sharing this little time with me on this video. This will be my first movie review, and I'll be doing more when more movies come out, or maybe movies that have been